Ukemi. Ukemi is the Japanese word for falling skills or rolling skills, being able to receive techniques safely. So Ukemi is a little more stressed in other martial arts like Aikido and Judo. For example, when I began training in Japan at 16, they had me do Ukemi for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I wasn't allowed to do any techniques, it was just rolling 2 hours a day and learning how to fall and receive the techniques properly. Now, I wasn't really thrilled about it at the time. However, years later, it has saved me innumerable times because when you get thrown, you don't have a chance to protect yourself. You simply react. So I would recommend that you practice Ukemi, the rolling, the falling skills, whenever you can. It really allows you to shave off the edges and turn yourself into a ball. And ultimately, you'll be able to redirect your opponent's energy that much more efficiently once you have good Ukemi. Forward rolls are where we're going to start. So what I need to do is round out my body. Right now I have a lot of angles, and once I take a step forward, I'm going to also assert my right arm forward, same side, same side. I'm going to round out my arms. This is known as Kokyu in Aikido. And what I want to do is create a continuous arc that extends through my entire body. Now, squat, put my hand out, maintain that curve, and then go straight over my shoulder. What's important to avoid is going sideways. I don't want to turn my head. It's very natural to want to turn your head, and you start your turn, you turn your head, and then you end up doing some kind of barrel roll sideways. That's really not that safe, especially if you get thrown. There's a lot of torsional stress on your low back here. Let's avoid that. What we want to do is have our hips go directly over our head. So I squat down, round out my arms here. I can even use this as a brace as I feed my right arm through, tuck my chin, and then have my hips go directly over my head. Backward rolls. Backward rolls are just like forward rolls, except we're going the opposite direction. So I start with my right leg forward, right arm forward, and I'm going to tilt my head slightly because I want to roll over my right shoulder. I don't want to be going over my head at all. The head shouldn't even touch. So I take both my hands like I'm throwing a bucket of water over my shoulder, kick my legs through, and then I can sit back into my original position. I can do a forward roll, and then we can do a backward roll. So again, both hands, this initiates the momentum. Some people find it easier to just throw this hand over, kick back, and then sit. They should be identical movements, rolling forward and rolling back. There are several styles of Ukemi that I've learned over the years, according to different martial traditions. Judo has one way, Aikido has another way. BJJ is barely even emphasized, which I understand because nobody's really going to tap to good Ukemi or a beautiful forward roll. However, it really is the most practical aspect of the martial arts. I can't tell you how many times that I've heard people thanking their judo training for saving them in a bike wreck or saving them in some kind of accident where they didn't have time to respond and protect themselves. They simply instinctively reacted with a forward roll. This next style of ukemi is known as a break fall, or in some traditions it's called sutemi, S-U-T-E-M-I. And this is how to disperse the momentum that you have. Normally with a forward roll, we want to continue that momentum, and I have this leg tucked underneath me. Now for sutemi, it's something very different. We actually want to have one sound, one impact, where our body contacts the mat and disperses the force that is built up. So, with sutemi, starts off the same, just like a forward roll, but now the leg doesn't tuck under. It extends out. This foot drops straight. I need my knee up. If I start bringing it to the side, there could be some consequences to that. This ankle extends out, and I really want to land with my thigh and my hand impacting at the same time. One sound. A great technique to understand how hip throws operate is ogoshi, or the major hip throw from judo. Ogoshi involves several key principles, including using your hip as an obstruction for your opponent to rotate around, and that makes them flip over. They're not choosing to flip over, they are forced to flip over to their back. It also helps you dial in with your footwork, and that footwork is extremely important. So the basic footwork is as follows. I want to step across with my right leg. I do a back step with my left. Now I'm able to pivot in place. Okay, on the opposite side, if there's a box, I step across, back step, then pivot. I'm all tied up at TJ. Now, what do I need to do? I need to get my grip. Again, when we're standing, good idea to grip behind the tricep here, one hand up on the lapel, very strong. Even stronger is if I can dip this hand behind his back and grab his belt. Now I do my footwork. I do a back step, poke my hip out, and then lift. So we're lifting TJ. This is known as loading. We don't necessarily need to throw him every repetition, but it's important to be able to cut underneath his weight. So I grab the back of his belt, pull on the arm, back step, pivot, and then lift TJ up. This technique can also be found in judo. It's known as o-uchigari, the major inner reap. But with this technique, I have found the wrestling style variation to be a little bit more effective. In judo, we circle that leg out. However, in this style variation, we still backstep, but instead of circling that foot, we drop immediately to the knee, catching their heel behind us, and then we use our body weight to finish the trick. You'll see what I mean. I have my grip on TJ for TJ to go flying with ogoshi, but he's a little bit wary to that. So as I go for my ogoshi, he throws his hip forward. Perfect time to drop behind the heel, grab around his waist, then drop down. here, I have my hand ready at his knee, so I can pop over and pass the guard. Wrestling is a very important part of modern Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and modern MMA training. I'm not an expert in wrestling, but I've gone to experts and sought out their counsel and advice on what would fit in well with my game and what are high percentage moves that give you very little exposure for a counterattack. One of those moves is the high C to a double leg takedown. I'd like to share that with you today. So TJ and I are in a pretty typical tie-up position, whether this is gi or no gi. People very often grab behind the head for control and then also behind the arms. So as we're locked here, what I want to do is open the door just a little bit. So I swing this elbow up and then drop to my knee, pulling him over me. So I really want to get him off balance. I'm pulling this arm down over the neck. I'm not leaving it up like this. I need to pull this down. Now I can switch to the double leg takedown. So I have this inserted. I'm going to angle slightly, grab, then I drive with my leg as we take our partner down. We're in position, tied up, drop to my knee, let that arm slide over me. Insert this hand very deep. Now I need to do a slight pivot because it's important to drive with this leg. Switch, switch. If I need to, I can clasp my hands together, usually not necessary. Then I drive with my head through the leg and also lifting his legs. Pummeling is a traditional warm-up exercise from wrestling that is a very important part of BJJ and stand-up grappling. As shown in MMA, the clinch position is a major position in modern martial arts. So it's important to get familiar with that range and get sensitive to your partner and the pressure that they give you. TJ and I are intertwined. I have one arm around his tricep, the other one is coming up around his lat. He has the same position on me. Now, when I feel that there's a break in between our bodies, I slide my hand in that hole. He does the same thing. And then we switch our feet to the other side. It's not about me beating my partner. Oh, I got my hand in faster than you. It's important to match their speed and fill in that hole. Now that we understand how to pummel, we can enter into our first throw. So this is a head and arm throw, popular in both judo and wrestling. So from the pummel position, this is 1, switch, 2, and then on 3, he inserts his hand, but I just grab the tricep. He continues his motion, and I wrap over the head. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We can go into the full throw by dropping to our knee. That's one of the easiest ways to take the ukemi. So I wrap over, I continue to pivot, make sure you have a good grip on that head, then drop to your knee and allow your partner to roll out. Now I'll drop to my knee and undercut his center of gravity. Our next technique is a lateral drop. And lateral drop is a really beautiful technique in its simplicity. What we're going to do is get off the line of attack, angle off slightly, lower our center of gravity, and then extend our leg, like so. So if the force is coming into us, we simply step off the line, and drop, and let the force go by. So as TJ pushes into me, I can't handle this kind of momentum. He is driving me, so what I need to do is utilize that momentum that he's giving me. So as we come through, I'm going to step off to the side and then extend my leg straight, reversing the position. TJ is pushing into me. He steps, I step off the line, extend my leg straight, and take him into Kuzuri Kesagatame. If TJ and I haven't touched yet, or we've separated our bodies, this is a great opportunity for the double leg takedown. However, if I shoot from way too far out, I'm not going to be successful and he's going to be able to sprawl in time. So what I want to do is only take the chance for this technique if I'm able to touch him. So when we're in that touching range, I lower my level, I shoot forward, and then bring my leg up next to me. So it's possible I could get the technique here by just driving with my shoulder, but I always prefer to wrap this leg around the heel and follow up with a trip. So it looks something like this. I'm here, I lower, I shoot forward, and then hook behind the heel for the assured takedown. Penetration on your shot is very important. Very good wrestlers go right through your body. They're aiming at a spot several feet behind you, so when they impact you, it's very definite and real. So to practice that, we want to get off the line with our partner. He's still standing there. I'll take my stance, lower my level, spring off, and I want to get my knee very deep, preferably through the plane where his ankles are. Then the other leg swings up, and we have a nice shot. It's incomplete to just stay here. We need to swing this leg up, a little bit tough on the top of the foot if you bring it straight up. I prefer an arc here, and bring your leg through. So with a partner, shoot. There are a lot of rules in this journey of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that I wish I would have known a little bit more clearly when I started out. So I would like to pass on some of those rules and tips and guidelines to you. Tip number 1, know where you're going. You need a destination in BJJ, otherwise you'll just be doing wheelies in the parking lot. So what we want to do is know our destination. that is, in my position, passing the guard. So if you are in somebody's guard, go to posture, do whatever it takes to open their ankles, and then start the guard passing process. Sometimes that's driving your heel of your palm into their hips and then breaking open the ankles in this manner. Sometimes that's simply locking down their hips and then jumping to your feet. Other times, it's putting your weight in the biceps so you can stand up, get your knee in that tailbone, and then break the guard like so. Other times, it might be baiting. Go ahead, triangle me. And then we pass the guard here. But trying to choke somebody from within the guard, possible, but it's unlikely it'll work, and it's more like begging to get arm locked. So my recommendation, put all your energy into passing the guard. Where do I grip? That is an important question that needs to be answered so that you are able to affect your techniques with maximum leverage and the least energy expenditure. So where do you grip? Well, if you're in the guard, you want to put your palms against their biceps, drop your head to prevent against chokes. Gripping the belt is also a good idea. You can also grip the two lapels while you're inside the guard to protect and maintain the integrity of your posture. If I'm attempting to pass the guard or in the process of passing the guard, then I want to have my hands on the knees of my opponent. So if TJ puts his feet up at my hips, what I need to do is put my hands on the inside of his knees. This way, I'll be able to drop my elbows, work his feet off of my hips. I can also jump back, drop my weight down, pass the guard. And if I happen to be going sideways, say like here, I can also grip the inside on this leg and drive my weight and my shoulder into his legs. It's another way of killing the legs or another way of immobilizing his legs through my body weight. So now I'm in the guard. Where do I want to grip? First priority should be his center line, his collar. So I open his lapel, insert my hand. I want this very deep. I want it in his center line, basically where his spine is at the back of his neck. My other hand can go very low on his sleeve, turning my fingers on the inside, and now I can start to pull, or on the back of the tricep here along the seam. These are good grips. You'll get a lot of use out of them. What I want to avoid doing is gripping anywhere in between. This is not so good, this is not so good, this is not so good. We want to hit those points, those leverage points that coincide right at his joints. So behind the tricep, right at the wrist, at the cuff, and have your hand controlling his center line and threatening to choke. How to use other parts of your body. When we start BJJ, we're used to doing everything with our hands. We brush our teeth, we comb our hair, we do everything with our hands. And so if I'm inside mount here and I want to get TJ's arm down, maybe I start pushing it down like this because I'm used, that's what I want. I'm trying to make him put his arm down and I'm trying to force it with my hands. So this is one way to do it, but that's not the right way. What we want to do is start to use other parts of our bodies. So we use our hand to be a hook. And then I'll use my body, I'll drive my shoulder down against his elbow and then work into the submission. Or, if he's moving his hips around, I can't control his hips with my hand here. Maybe I'll go to north-south position and use my head on his hips. Maybe I'll go to knee on belly and use my shin to stabilize and control his hips. He can still move around, but I'm able to kind of surf him and ride his momentum.
It works just the same on the bottom. I don't want to use my hands to lift him. My arms are going to do it. I'm in a poor leverage position anyway because my wrist is already back here. So what I want to do is move me. I never move him. I always move myself. I might crack the door open just a little bit, then I move my hip out and then maybe circle this around. But no, I'm not really bumping him. I'm moving in the space around him. Last tip for beginning your jiu-jitsu journey, slow down. Slow down. You feel a lot more when you slow down. If you start going and you are trying to do something to your opponent, you're not working with them, but you're actually trying to do something to them, that is where you do not feel what they're doing because you're so engrossed in your own movement. You're not sensitive and receptive to feeling what they're doing. And ultimately, you want to respond to what they are doing, not dictating from on high. It doesn't work like that. So slow down. Second reason to slow down, other than increased sensitivity, is better gas economy, better fuel economy. I can't tell you how many times I've heard, man, I need to work on my cardio, I need to do this, I need to get in better shape. You don't need better cardio, you need better fuel economy. At a white belt, you're getting 5 miles a gallon. Some people I've seen get even less. So what you want to do is extend that. You want to start at 5 miles a gallon. Eventually, once you learn to move your hips, you're at 10 miles a gallon. Once you get purple belt, then you're 20 miles a gallon. Brown belt, 30. Black belt is about 35 miles a gallon. So you don't need a bigger gas tank. You don't need more cardio. What you need is better fuel economy. Trust me on that.
yourself. Pace yourself, Rick. Slow down, slow down.
Pace yourself.
Slow it down, you gotta. And then take it back, take it back. Put the weight down, Cosmo. Just keep turning. Drag the hips down. There you go. Down, good. Take it back. There you go. Get the back, right?
Nice work, Rick.
Nice. Okay, take a minute, Rick. Take a minute. Good job.
Nice work, Rick.
Here we go, Rick.
Come on, Rick, you got this.
Take it, Jimmy. Take it.
Fight through it, Rick.
Nice. Very good. Very good. Go ahead.
Come on, Rick.
Good, good. You got something there. You got something there. Go, let's go. Position. Come on. Stay aggressive. Less than a minute. 30 seconds. Dig deep. Come on. Yeah. Very nice.
Good work, Rick. Good work, Rick.
Rick, let's go, Rick.
Here, Rick.
Roll. There you go. Nice. Fast. There you go, Rick. Good job, Rick. Rick, nice, Rick. Good job, Rick.
Come on, Rick.
Go, Rick. Come on.
Right here, buddy.
Get your knees, get your knees.
So how do you feel?
Oh, I feel good.
Yeah?
Ready to go.
When did you start training?
End of November of 06,
Yeah.
2006. So it's
Your
been a
body's
little over a
feeling,
year.
your body's feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling good before I turn 50,
Yeah. When's your birthday?
February.
So this will be
Well,
it.
actually it'll be 49. So my goal was before 50 or February of next year.
So a big accomplishment?
Yeah, it is. Feel good about it and working hard.
Yeah. Oh, are you going to pace yourself?
Well, my coach Rick told me to go as hard as I can at the beginning, so I got to listen to what my coach says.
Rotate. Yeah. Commit. Push through.
Keep fighting, that's it. 1 more minute. 1 more minute.
Take the back of the hook.
That's it.
There you go, there you go.
Very good. Very good. Take it.
Knock your back, guys. Big up bicep. Get up on your side. Roll into it.
2 hands.
Grab your shin. There you go. Get up. There you go. Shrimp up. There you go. Pinch it in. There it is. There's the back. Get the. Good job, dude.
So you're a pretty fit guy. You've been an active guy most of your life. How's BJJ different from other things you've done? How's it changed your life? What kind of effects has it had for you?
Positive for sure. You know, I grew up playing sports my whole life, and there was a point where career kind of took over my time, and I didn't have time for the organized sports anymore. So I took up kind of weight training, and then found that weight training by itself can make you feel good. It can make you look good, but it's not enough. I wanted to use that to do something special, maybe add some intensity to my life. So I found jiu-jitsu, and I think what's really great about jiu-jitsu is it's kind of that intersection where the mental, the physical, and the spiritual all kind of combine, and the weight training coupled with that it's just been an incredible experience. And you know, jiu-jitsu, once you learn the techniques and the flow of it and using someone else's energy for yourself, you can also use it off the mat. How you handle normal situations at work, at life, the way you think. It's just given me a sense of peace that I didn't have before.
Awesome.
Keep it down, China. the back. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. There we go. Pinch. Keep rolling. Hold it. There it is. Good job. Touch your weight. Other side, all the way around, all the way around. All the way around, all the way around. There you go. Come on, you can take it. Feel the leg, Jen. Feel the hips though. Feel the hips. Yeah. Together. Turn into him, Jen. Turn into him. Turn here. Roll out, roll. Nice, Donald. Take the armbar, Donald. Take it. With your knees, roll into them. There you go. There you go. Come on, James. Roll out. Roll your knees. Roll up. Roll up. Yeah, take the single. Pass the guard, James. Come on. Pass the half guard. Come on, James. Fight it.